Iran and the US exchanged fire in the biggest escalation since the ceasefire began. Iran attacks US Navy destroyers, and the US launches strikes inside Iran. Is it a return to war or a love tap, as Trump calls it? Here's everything you need to know about the past 24 hours.
They were firing at us, and we were firing back at them, and our firepower was a hell of a lot stronger than theirs, and they knocked the hell out of them.
US President Donald Trump is insisting that a one-month ceasefire with Iran remains in place, despite both sides firing at each other. Iranian forces launched drone, missile, and boat attacks against 3 US destroyers in the Gulf of Oman, south of Chabahar. The US says the attacks were intercepted before launching its own strikes against what it calls military targets in Qishm Island, Bandar Abbas, and Manal. The US is calling the Iranian attack on its ships unprovoked. But Iran says it was responding to an attack on an Iranian oil tanker a day earlier near Jask. Later, US Central Command put out a statement underscoring that it was acting in self-defense. It said its forces do not seek escalation but remain positioned and ready to protect American forces. Trump is playing down the latest incident in the Strait of Hormuz, calling it a minor incident. But he's keeping the blockade of Iranian ports in place, and Tehran views that as a serious violation. In his latest post, Trump wrote, "Just like we knocked them out again today, we'll knock them out a lot harder and a lot more violently in the future if they don't get their deal signed fast." So where does this leave the talks? Iran has confirmed it's reviewing a new US proposal to end the war. Reports suggest a memorandum of understanding is being considered that would gradually open the Strait of Hormuz and lift the US blockade over a 30-day period. That would allow for more detailed talks on other issues, including Iran's nuclear program. And if those talks break down, the Gulf region is on the front line. Shortly after the incident in the Strait of Hormuz, the UAE reported another barrage of missiles and drones. This follows 2 days of missile strikes against the UAE on Monday and Tuesday, which Iran denied carrying out. Gulf nations are now backing a US draft resolution at the United Nations, calling on Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says the war is the root cause of the closure.
Iran remains fully prepared to resolve normal maritime traffic and ensure freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, provided that the war is permanently ended and the unlawful blockade is lifted.
Israeli forces say they're also standing by, ready to resume the war on multiple fronts. That's as they deepen the occupation of areas in southern Lebanon, despite a ceasefire. Lebanon's health ministry says 12 people, including 2 children and a paramedic, have been killed in the latest Israeli attacks on Thursday. Yet the 2 countries are expected to resume peace talks next week in Washington. That's it from me today. Stay with us on Al Jazeera for all your developments in the war on Iran.